Meeting to order of the Cottonwood Development Corporation on Wednesday, June 3rd at 5 o'clock. We'll start with roll call. Board Member Patty Martinez. Here. Board Member Dan Thornton.
Here.
We have no public comments. Huh?
I guess I'm supposed to be sitting here?
You can sit either way. If you don't want to sit near us, that's fine. We understand you want to.
Here's.
Next item on our agenda is 4.1, consideration possible action on the minutes of the December 30th, 2019 Cottonwood Board of Directors meeting. We have that in the so do I have a motion?
So moved.
Second.
Motion by Board Member Martinez, second by Board Member Thornton. Call for vote.
Doug Gall.
Aye.
Patty Martinez.
Aye.
Dan Thornton.
Aye.
Motion passes 3-0. Next item is 4.2, consideration possible action on the minutes of the January 27th, 2020 meeting.
Do you want me to speak to that? We put some draft minutes in your packet. We received some information this afternoon that we have to verify. We're not sure that the draft minutes are correct for the January 27th meeting, and we would request that the board review the actions and postpone this to the next meeting.
Move to table this item to the next meeting.
Second.
So a motion by Councilmember Thornton, second by Board Member Martinez to table item 4.2 to the next meeting. Call for vote.
Doug Gall.
Aye.
Patty Martinez.
Aye.
Dan Thornton.
Aye.
Motion passes 3-0. Next item, consideration possible action on the minutes of February 10th, 2020 Cottonwood Board of Directors meeting.
This was February 10th, you said? 4-3?
Yeah, 4-3.
And there is a video of this meeting. We were able to watch the video and match the minutes to the video.
So do we have a motion?
So moved.
Second.
Motion by Board Member Martinez, second by Board Member Thornton. Call for vote.
Doug Gall.
Aye.
Patty Martinez.
Aye.
Dan Thornton.
Aye.
Motion passes 3-0. Next item is consideration possible action on the minutes of the 4/30/2020 Cottonwood Board of Directors meeting.
Motion to accept minutes as presented.
Second.
Motion made by Board Member Martinez, second by Board Member Thornton. Call for vote.
Doug Gall.
Aye.
Patty Martinez.
Aye.
Dan Thornton.
Aye.
Motion passes 3-0. Next item is 4.5, considering possible action on agreement with the Borkowitz Law Firm to serve as general counsel for the Cottonwood Development Corporation, and authorize the chairman to execute the agreement, and authorize the chairman to notify McKinnis Lockridge of the termination of legal services provided by McKinnis Lockridge, and consent to Borkowitz Law Firm also representing Cottonwood Development Corporation.
Okay, so initially you had stated that there was a conflict of interest
Correct.
with this. So can you kind of explain to us a little bit of how we moved from there to where we are now?
And we did put a memo in your Dropbox. We explained the various conflicts, and then we disclosed the conflicts. We explained that we could proceed with the representation as long as there was disclosure and consent. It's not only disclosure and consent by the CDC, but it will have to also be by the city. So we'll have, and we have that on the council agenda tomorrow night.
Right. Okay.
Also, the agreement's contingent upon funding by the city. When I reviewed your bylaws and your actions that you've taken in the past, you have not adopted a budget. The bylaws allow city staff to provide administrative services. There's nothing that I can find that automatically authorizes the appointed city attorney for the city to automatically represent the CDC. So we, as our law firm, since we do serve as the city's city attorney, have disclosed potential conflicts and issues and problems. And as long as the board is comfortable with our law firm acting as general counsel, and the city council also consents and agrees and funds the payment of the services, then we can represent you. So we would bring back an administrative service agreement on the next agenda to provide for that funding.
Okay.
And in the packet that I handed out to you, there is a standard terms of engagement with the law firm that I put in. And the nature of the representation is for just specifically the general counsel work. Your responsibilities is to cooperate with the firm to provide us with the information that we need to provide the legal services. We are responsible and committed to address your legal needs. The second page is number 6 is the ethical conflict of interest disclosure and the acknowledgement and consent. And then our fees, billing, and administrative services are the same that we provide for the city. And then you have the right to terminate our services at any time. We're an independent contractor. And the terms of this agreement are similar to the terms that we have with the city.
Any other questions?
So seeing as how we haven't adopted a budget, we would obviously need to do so before we're able to hire a law firm, is that correct?
Yeah, I think the motion tonight is to do it pending council approval and budget. So it's,
Okay.
is that correct? That's kind of what we're doing, is we're saying we approve it, but it's subject to council approval and subject to a budget approval.
Correct. Consent by the city also, and then funding by the city.
And the reason we'd want to go ahead and do this now, like as opposed to wait until we have the budget, is so that if the council approves it in the budget, then you can go forward with services without a
Correct.
delay type.
And you also have the right not to contract with our law firm. You
Right.
have the right, after the disclosure, to say, no, we'd rather seek an independent law firm that doesn't also represent the city.
But do we have, in order for the council to approve, do we have to approve it first this evening?
Your approval is really going to be subject to council
Yeah.
approval.
So if we,
Council approval, funding, and
Yeah.
consent to the disclosure.
but if we didn't act on it tonight, then the council can still approve, or do we have?
Correct. We can bring it back next time with the
So-
administrative service agreement and the council action. Yes, and then,
Sure.
if I could introduce Mr. George Hyde. We're also recommending a special engagement with Russell Rodriguez, Hyde, and Bullock to assist with some of the legal issues.
Good afternoon. My name is George Hyde, which is my partner, Russell Rodriguez, Hyde, out of Georgetown. The ability to create an attorney-client relationship is independently painful. When you seek information, even when you're interviewing an attorney that you may have to provide attorney-client information. So we have an attorney-client relationship at the moment that we start doing that. Because then if you tell me secrets about your case and then I don't go on it, that I still have to be bound to
Right.
But that's because we're a public service nature organization. We both work together for years and years. That's the way that we make our cities. So, and so what this is this is an engagement with regards to your general counsel services, so that the board president can provide those services to you in the event that there is a conflict, there's some dispute between this entity's board's decisions and the decisions of the city council with regards to something you both have a mutual involvement in. Then what that would do is create a situation where the Borges Law Firm could not represent the city nor the development corporation, and they would have to have their own lawyers as to that dispute.
Right.
And they stay out of it.
Correct.
And then that dispute is resolved with different legal counsel that can advocate for each party. And then when that's, but other than that dispute, everything else continues to operate as a law firm. So, when you see the item, for us, because of your circumstance, we would suggest that you engage legal counsel as soon as possible. And that understanding that that engagement is subject to the ability to authorize money. And if you don't get the appropriation, at the city council level to get that legal issues, then we risk our legal services have that purpose, and then we can withdraw from the representation or continue at no cost. Those would be the ultimate choices.
Okay.
So, because of your circumstances, I think that I would rather you engage under those circumstances that they are conditional to funding, so that we can move forward in that stead, and then in the event that's not what happens, that would be a plan. Thank you.
Okay.
Thank you.
Also, part of this agenda item is currently McGinnis Lockridge had represented the Cottonwood Development Corporation. We reached out to them and asked them if they had an agreement, because we couldn't find where the board engaged them, and we couldn't find where the city council authorized the McGinnis firm to represent the Cottonwood Development Corporation in the city at the same time. They did send us a document that indicated that the city manager hired them and directed that all billings were to be under economic development. They did say in connection with one of the financing transactions, they may have a separate agreement, and if they find it, they'll send it to us. So we could not find where the Cottonwood Development Corporation hired the McGinnis firm in on any of their agendas, nor could they provide us with an agreement except for their authorization was through the city manager.
Okay. Do we have a motion?
Move to accept the item as presented.
Motion made by Board Member Thornton,
Second.
second by Board Member Martinez. To accept the item as presented. Call for vote.
Doug Ball,
Aye.
Patty Martinez.
Aye.
Dan Thornton.
Aye.
Motion passes 3-0. Next item is consider and approve an agreement with the Russell Rodriguez Hyde and Bullock LLP to serve as special counsel for the Cottonwood Development Corporation. Any
And-
questions?
Mr. Hyde's engagement agreement is also in your packet. Did you want to speak to?
If the board has any questions about our background, I'm happy to provide that to you.
Any questions? So we're basically just employing or approving him for a special, basically for one. It's
Correct.
not an ongoing.
For,
The way that our engagement agreement is prepared is engagement with special counsel on an assignment by assignment basis. So that way, if you have another issue, you're not deprived of legal counsel before you have an opportunity to engage on that separate item. And so from this point forward, the board will be able to assign cases or issues, present issues as necessary. For instance, if there was a conflict of interest with your general counsel, we would be able to immediately step in, provide that sort of service to the development corporation and step out without having to operate
And does this require council approval then too before we go forward, or would?
This would also be contingent upon funding by the city council, and we would prepare an administrative service agreement.
For the funding, but for appointing for the special, we don't have to go to city council for the special,
No.
only for the general council.
Yeah, because you are an incorporated special or distinct entity, then your decision with regards to the appointment is fine.
Okay. Do we have a motion or any other questions?
Mayor, I make a motion that we approve an agreement with Russell Rodriguez, Hyde, and Bullock to serve as special counsel for the Cottonwood Development Corporation.
Second.
Motion made by Board Member Martinez, second by Board Member Thornton. Call for vote.
Doug Dahl.
Aye.
Patty Martinez.
Aye.
Dan Thornton.
Aye.
Motion passes 3-0.
Thank you.
So next item on our agenda is executive session. So we will go into executive session at 5:16 p.m. to receive legal advice concerning the Huddle Sports, Health, and Entertainment District in accordance with Texas Government Code 551.071 and deliberations regarding economic development pursuant to Texas Government Code 551.087 and deliberate the purchase of sale of real property within the Huddle Sports, Health, and Entertainment District, and to receive legal advice concerning legal representation of Cottonwood Development Corporation. So we're breaking to executive session at 5:17 p.m. Okay, we're returning from executive session at 6:11 p.m. There was no discussion on 5:2 and no action taken during executive session. Go to 6:1. Any action related to Huddle Sports, any action or comments? There was no action or motion that we need to take on that. So there's no, unless anybody had a question or discussion. So, and we didn't do anything on 6.2, so there was no action or discussion on that. So with that being said, we will adjourn this nothing else on the agenda. We'll adjourn this meeting at 6:12 p.m. on June 3rd.